Hey warriors, we've got a great creativity session for you today. We're gonna start with a writing prompt, work through a little creativity boosting yoga flow, and then we're gonna create. So whenever you're ready, hop on your mat and let's fight for your creativity. Today's prompt is, "I'm flying," she exclaimed. You're not flying, you're just... Hey warriors, in today's rut busting yoga flow, we're going to start standing, and you actually won't need a mat, so if you don't have one, don't worry. We're just gonna be mostly on our feet today. We're not gonna have our knees on the hard ground or anything, so all you need is you. Let's get started. I will face you, but you can start at the top of your mat for right now. I'll just start standing and facing you. We're just gonna start in a nice, strong mountain pose with our feet about hip width apart, all four corners of the feet and all the toes just pressing into the yoga mat to create a nice base to support the rest of our bodies. We're not just standing, but we're standing with purpose, standing in alignment with our head over our heart over our pelvis, our shoulders down away from the ears, the shoulder blades pulled together toward the back, down the back to really open the chest, and just a nice strong mountain. I'm gonna pull the belly button back toward the spine to engage the core. And then as we move through our practice, this is just a great alignment to keep in mind. So if you find yourself kind of leaning forward or, just hanging out, just remember head over heart, heart over pelvis, and pulling that belly button back to meet the spine. So we'll just start to invite, first, we're going to come into the breath. So if you've been running around, if you've been anxious today, if you've been worrying about some other things, just take this moment to take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. Letting the breath center you, letting the breath be all that there is at the moment, the breath and the movement. So we're going to inhale again and exhale. And if any time you feel your mind wandering, that's okay. Just bring it back to the breath. And we're gonna move. As we start to move, we'll just be conscious of matching that movement to the breath. So we're gonna inhale and reach the arms up toward the sky. Just start to invite a little bit of movement here, reaching through the fingertips. And just grab that left wrist with that right hand and just pull to the right. Bending at the waist, keeping that left foot planted into the mat to create a little opposite pull. Couldn't think of the word I want. And then inhale back to center. Reaching through the fingertips, grabbing that right wrist with the left hand and just gently pulling toward the left, bending at the waist, keeping that right foot pressed into the mat. A little counterbalance. There it is. That's what I was looking for. And then inhale back to center. And exhale, bring the arms down to a goalpost arms, pulling the elbows together toward each other behind the back. Obviously they won't touch, just opening the chest. And then inhale, reaching up. And then I'm gonna bring the arms down through center here. I'm gonna come to the top of the mat. If you're already there, just stay where you are, find your mountain. Again, and we're gonna start moving just through some half sun salutations. So inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, slice the hands down the middle, bending at the waist, folding forward into our forward fold. And for right now, your knees can be as bent as they need to be. We're just pulling that the tailbone up toward the sky. Keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, so trying not to kind of hunch forward, but keeping some length in that spine. And then inhale, half flat back, whatever that looks like to you. Hands either on the shins or the thighs, creating a nice 7 shape with the body. And then inhale, fold, exhale, fold. And then inhale, swooping the arms up, straightening through the waist, reaching for the sky. And exhale, bringing the hands down, back through center, back into mountain. We're gonna do that one more time, and this time we're gonna add on. I'm gonna inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, swiping down the middle to our forward fold. And each time, maybe your legs get a little straighter or you just keep them bent, whatever feels good for you. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, we're gonna drop the hands to the mat, creating a little stability, pressing into all 10 fingers, not the dumping into the wrists. And we're gonna keep that right foot planted, but step that left foot back all the way, as far back as you can go, into a nice runner's lunge. Keeping that right knee stacked over that right ankle. So 90-degree angle with that right knee and shin. You can always drop that back leg if you need a little more stability right now. Or you can be here in runner's lunge, and we're just gonna pause, maybe press that heel, back heel toward the back of the mat to really pull that stretch. Feel a nice pull. You can have your hands flat on the mat. You can come up to your fingertips. Pull that right hip crease back to really increase that stretch. You can always inhale to open the chest, lifting your hands up off the mat for just a second. And exhale, touching the mat again to support yourself. I'm not doing anything fancy, just hanging out in runner's lunge for just a second, for a few breaths. And then on an inhale, we're gonna bring that back foot up toward that front foot a little closer, but not all the way. So we're gonna come into warrior one. So we're gonna just bring it up a little ways, point that left toe to the front left corner of the mat, keep the right knee bent at that right angle, right knee over right ankle, and lifting the chest away from the knee, coming into warrior one. Once you can keep your hands on your waist while you find your stability and balance, just adjusting your stance so that it feels comfortable to you. And then once you have it, you can inhale, reach the arms up on an inhale, and then just exhale, maybe settle into the pose, keeping that back leg, keeping a nice bend in that back knee. Don't want to lock the knee. Keeping that back foot pressed into the mat, that back edge of that foot. Inhale and exhale. Pull that right hip crease back so the hip points shine forward. And then on the next inhale, we're just gonna straighten that front leg. The back leg stays where it is. Position of the foot stays where it is. And it's up to you what you do with your hands here. You can either bring them to heart center, bring them to the waist. And we're just gonna start to bend at the waist forward, bringing the chest toward the big toe of that right foot, keeping the chin up. So we're not bending forward, but we're keeping that spine long and strong, or hunching forward. And we're just slowly bringing the chest closer to that shin, toward the mat. And then if you want to increase the stretch, you can even bring that foot up a little bit more. So keep that right leg straight. So this is pyramid pose. You can keep your hands at the waist, or you can even bring them down to the mat on either side of that right foot. Pull that right hip crease back to increase the stretch, so the hip should be even, not starting to open. Unfolding as far as you're able. If your hands aren't at the mat, if you're just here, Just hold it here with the hands at the waist. Just breathing. And then we'll inhale and exhale. We'll just bring that back foot up to meet the front into our fold. Maybe shaking out those knees. And inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reaching for the sky. And exhale, coming down into our mountain. And we'll repeat that on the other side. So inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, swipe down the middle into our fold. Maybe your knees or your legs are a little straighter. Inhale, half flat back, whatever that looks like to you. And then exhale, bringing the hands to the mat on either side of the feet. And then planting that left foot and stepping that right foot back into our runner's lunge. Can always drop that back knee for a little extra balance and stability. Maybe pressing that right heel back toward the back of the mat to increase the stretch, pulling that left hip crease back. If you'd like to come up off the fingertips, make sure you have your balance. And inhale to open the chest and open the heart. Whatever feels good here for you, whether that's just staying here. Just pause here for a few breaths. And then on the next inhale, we'll bring that right foot up more toward the center of the mat. And then inhale up into our warrior one. The right toes are pointed toward the top right corner of the mat. That left knee is bent over that left ankle. Making sure the hip points are shining toward the top of the mat. Hands can be on the waist, heart center, or eventually reach above you. And just breathe, making sure you're still keeping that head over heart, heart over pelvis alignment, pulling that belly button back to meet the spine, to engage the core. And after a couple of breaths here, on the next inhale, we'll straighten that left leg, keeping the feet in their same positions. Bringing the hands to the waist or heart center, whatever feels good to you. Just start to bend forward at the waist, reaching the chest toward the top of the mat, the chin toward the top of the mat, keeping the shoulder blades back, keeping the hips even instead of opening like they might try to do. Keeping the hands on the waist is a great way to help with that. Kind of guide them. If you'd like to increase the stretch, you can always bring that foot up, that back foot up closer to the front foot. And bring the hands to the mat if you're there. A little extra balance. Or just keep them on the waist or at heart center. Could also bring in blocks here. I didn't make that clear at the beginning, but if you want to try this pose on your own, blocks can always help if you're not quite down here yet. And then take a couple deep breaths here in through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe on an exhale, you just bend a little further. And then we'll inhale and exhale, just bring that back foot up to meet the front, release into our fold. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, bring the hands down through center into our mountain pose. Maybe pause to bring your breath back to a steady flow. If it's gotten a little erratic, that's okay. Then we're not gonna pause in a resting pose. We're gonna take this creative energy we have just cultivated and take it to our creative endeavors. So you can head to your computer, grab a notebook, grab an easel, grab your art supplies, whatever you need to create. And you can let this video play. We have a little music and you can just sit and spend time creating. So thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste, warriors. Now go fight for your creativity. Welcome to your creativity session. Don't worry about pausing or turning off the video. We'll play some music to keep your creativity flowing as you work. Challenge yourself to keep going until the video ends. You got this. And if you appreciate these videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Today's prompt is, "I'm flying," she exclaimed. You're not flying. You're just Time's up, warriors. Great job. I hope this rut busting flow and creativity session was helpful. Remember, no matter how much or how little you created in this session, you still made the time and showed up. If you want to make these sessions a regular thing, make sure to subscribe and hit the little notification bell to get notified whenever I have a new video. Have a wonderful day, warriors.